once you start something, it's in your best interest to not quit. Don't give up. For me, my whole life, I've started on things, I've worked on things, made a little bit of progress. I hit a bump in the road, and then I turned back around to where I started, and I didn't really continue. I didn't keep going. I didn't finish the path. I quit on myself. It's one thing to fail, it's another thing to quit. So for me, in the past, I've always decided I was going to start something new. I was going to start fresh. Whether that was software development, transcription, I would try out these new things and see how things would go. After putting in a little bit effort, 1 month, 2 months, web development, I'm trying that now. I didn't really know where to go. I didn't have any reason to keep going. The motivation had ran out. There weren't any results. There wasn't any like real accomplishment that I had. So I decided, you know what? Yeah, I made a little bit of progress, but it's on to something else, something new. Like, how can I make money now? I felt like I was just chasing a salary, and I didn't really have any idea of what it was exactly that I wanted to do. I wasn't developing enough skills. I didn't have enough accomplishments. I didn't achieve anything great, but I would always start something new, and I had this type of new motivation because it's brand new. Like, let's go, let's give it a try, let's give it a shot. But I never finished. I never saw things through. After a while, I quit. And there's a difference between failure and quitting. When you quit, you give up, you don't go back, you draw a line in the sand, and that's it. When you fail, you put in some effort, you make a sacrifice, you try, and you don't get the result that you look for. The intended result, it isn't there. You stop, you reflect, you analyze, and you try again. You fail again. You fall on your ass and you do it again. And I didn't really want to keep failing. Instead, I'd rather quit. But you're way better off failing over and over and over. The thing is, when you fail, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. It's this reality that you have to just face, where you're like, do I want to keep going through this painful experience? And you have to do it. You have to do it. It's in your best interest to continue to do it. That intended result, it's not going to be there immediately. It's going to take time until you achieve that. But you just keep going. You keep going. You keep going. And the problem is, people don't want to fail because they don't know what's ahead of them, right? You just continue to fail. You don't see any result, any big time progress, nothing that you can look back on and say, you know what, I've changed. Or even if you do look back and you say, I've changed, I've done better, I've got smarter, I've got stronger, I'm wiser. There's a lot that you don't know. Your destiny is unwritten. You don't have this idea of what the finish line looks like. So it's almost as if you're just trying and you're getting nothing from trying, because you don't know what the end looks like, or the end is just not clear. So you say to yourself, what's the point? You kind of go back to your old self, the habits that always kept you from progressing. You fall into those habits even deeper. The environments that you were in once upon a time that didn't serve you any well, all of a sudden you invited yourself back into those environments. The people that you know aren't good for you, you want to surround yourself with them. And this is because you just quit on yourself. When you quit on yourself, everything that has led up to the point of you becoming who you are today and where you are today, you look back and you say, I want that life again. I don't want what's ahead of me, because what's ahead of me is scary. What's ahead of me is unknown. What's ahead of me is just unclear. So you fall back into that trap, and that's what happens. That's the risk that you face when you decide to quit. When you decide to fail, then you become a better version of yourself. You do all the work mentally, and now you're a little bit stronger. You're mentally stronger, so you can persevere through whatever difficulties lie ahead, because you don't know what lies ahead. But you're willing to face whatever challenges that are on the way, because you just failed over and over and over, and you're not scared of anything at this point. You've gone through the rejection. You've gone through the criticism. You've gone through the unknown. You've gone through the difficult day in and day out of you balancing whatever it is you're trying to get better at with your life and your family and your spirit. It's difficult, but the fact that you've failed over and over and over, nothing can really stop you at a certain point. That's why you have to seek failure. Seeking failure will eventually get you to where you want to go, and it'll build you up to be the person that you've always strived to be. So don't quit.